Oh yeah, slide into it. Oh, you can't touch this.
Hey baby, how you doing?
That is so hot.
Superpeople has a massive update, and I got the chance to play it early, and I'm going to be showing you never seen before gameplay, movement, class changes, and more. If you haven't played Superpeople in a while, then you should definitely watch this video all the way to the end, because there's a lot of significant changes throughout the entire video, and be sure to send it to a friend because you can't see this gameplay anywhere else in the world. The core movement of Superpeople has changed forever with the addition of the slide mechanic. You can now slide on any character you want, and you can pair up this slide with other movement abilities for some crazy results. You also can slide jump everywhere, but that little tip I'm gonna have to share with you in my next video, so be sure to subscribe now. Beyond sliding, looting is quicker when in buildings, given the fewer items needed, and also you don't have to worry about grabbing a worse item. They added a feature where if you try to grab an item that is a lower tier than what you have in your hand, you must hold down your interact key before swapping. This means when you're looting inside of a building, you can just spam pick up literally anything without worrying about dropping something better for something worse. I will also be covering all the important class changes that you need to know later on in the video, but first let's cover time to kill. For those who are curious, it takes about 14 bullets from a purple F2000 to kill an enemy with full level 5 gear. Time to kill can be a little bit faster if you throw in some headshots in there, but please keep in mind this is the time to kill for the first week of the update, and they might change it in the future, and that also goes for all the class changes. Things might get tweaked, buffed, or nerfed in the near future. But no matter what, I would still expect around a 10 to 20% increase in time to kill across the board in this new update. I would also like to note two things just before we hop into the important class changes. The care packages now have insane loot, including mythical weapons, so they are definitely worth fighting for. The trio format also feels a lot better than 4-mans across the board, and the end games are a lot more intense overall, because in the new update, the player count per lobby is going to go up, but the ring size is going to remain the same, thus giving us more intense games and much better end games in general. Now it's time for the class changes that you need to know before you start playing the game. The Shotgun Master has 3 primary differences. His jump ultimate went up in cooldown from 35 seconds to 45, and you must activate your tank shotgun now. Instead of it being a passive, it's only going to last for about 10 to 15 seconds. The landing perk is now linked with his ultimate, so you will keep taking fall damage until you max out your ultimate to level 3. The firearms expert ruined the game for about a month in the previous update, but now he's a lot less scary. The mix and match perk only gives about 10% more damage, and the leaning seems to only give bonus damage to headshots, so it's not that big of a deal. The ultimate is still very strong, but his reload and weapon swap speed have definitely been decreased across the board, and people have better movement to counter his slow-mo bubble in general. His tactical reload is very strong and also grants about 10% damage for him and all his allies, but it only lasts for about 10 seconds. It also reloads the teammates' weapons, but considering most guns will kill you in 1/3 of the magazine, this ability really is not too scary. I would love to see the developers increase the cooldown on his ultimate from 60 seconds to around 120, but other than that, he's not that scary, and the devs promise to nerf him very quickly if he becomes a problem again. The gas soldier now spawns in with 3 gas grenades, and you do not have to pick up smokes in your inventory to use them, and the gas grenades replenish every 15 to 30 seconds depending on the level of the skill. I did tell the developers that this does need to be nerfed, and they agree that they will nerf the character and balance him more in the future, so it's possible even when this update goes live that he won't be as strong. The gas grenades are overpowered because you spawn in with 3 of them that you can spam right at the start of the game before anybody gets a gun. Also keep in mind his ultimate does less damage than it does previously, and the damage goes up with every single tier of his ultimate. It's still a strong ability, but it's not quite as crazy as it used to be. The biggest and sexiest change with Seeker is that you now can use your universal slide after you activate your ultimate slide, which means you'll go about 50 meters per charge for a total of 150 meters traveled every single ultimate, which is a massive improvement. Also, once you max out the Seeker ultimate, you will be getting a little bit of health back as you slide, which is awesome across the board. The main change with Strike Force is that his Brave Assault boosts the movement of all of his allies now instead of increasing the damage of himself. It is a noticeable boost and similar to that of a speed bar, and does last for a decent period of time. You also will no longer have a landing animation once you reach level 2 of your ultimate, which is a massive game changer for the class's combat. The Demolisher is also much easier to use now with many quality of life improvements to his kit. It is much easier to aim his rockets, and the RC car is faster and easier to drive, but it's still a little underwhelming because it's so easy to hear and destroy, so he's still kind of a meh character. The Gatling Soldier's kit is almost the exact same, however cooldowns and ammo have been tweaked. His Gatling gun only has 100 bullets now at the max level instead of 150, and he rolls on a 15-second cooldown and only goes down 1 second per bullet you hit compared to 3 in the previous iteration. In my opinion, the Gatling soldier does need a nerf and will end up getting a nerf in the near future, given that his Gatling gun does the same damage as his legendary M4, plus it has almost double the fire rate, and it also applies a burn, thus making it one of the most OP weapons in the entire game. Combine that with the ability to get health back when you roll, and it's definitely a recipe for destruction, so more than likely the damage of the Gatling will be nerfed, and so will the health back on roll. The Marine is still a very strong class and now has camaraderie built into his passive. Thankfully, the speeds have been halved, which means now it'll take 10 seconds for a full revive and 5 seconds to pick up, which are half the values in the previous patch, but keep in mind, he's the only character in the entire game that has a faster res perk. The teleporter did get a little bit of tweaks with his tomahawk, especially because now it can knock back the enemy and does decent damage in general. You actually can completely one-shot headshot a player with no armor, which would be very interesting early game, and it'll do about 20 to 30 damage to an enemy with level 5 or level 4 armor. Their spatial awareness is also very good when locating enemies on the map, so he's now a better class overall, and he still has the one-shot perk, but now it's his passive. Titan still plays very similar to what he did previously, but there's a big change that makes him an absolute game changer. He has a health ability that gives 30 HP to his allies, which is a 30% increase across the board, so in general, Titan is a much stronger team player, and I'm sure you'll see him supporting carries a lot more in the future. Now, Driver, Nuclear, SWAT, and Sniper are all almost the exact same with very minor changes to their kit, so they really aren't that important. Wait till the end for a special secret poem, and before we get there, I just want to let you know that I will be live with new Twitch drops on the 11th around the 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time before the update even goes live, and I'm live 5 to 7 days a week, so be sure to click that link. Also, here's the secret poem. Peanut butter toast or elite. Have a great day.